media stations and social media outlets were biased towards certain candidates. For instance, the state media, ELBC, provided more airtime to the ruling party than any other party or independent candidates. We recommend that even private radio stations should be compared to provide adequate time for equal coverage, and community radio should be allotted funds to cover the election period. Legal framework. On a large scale, we see the need to review the legal framework governing our elections. Although the past elections can be considered democratic in the sense that all citizens of voting age had the right to vote. In our opinion, the elections were neither free nor fair, nor it was constitutional. First of all, the government resources were used for campaigning on massive scales, providing candidates of the ruling party an unfair advantage. For an example, ministers using government vehicles and resources to conduct campaigns activities. This is a blatant disregard to the code of conduct of government officials. Second, according to the 1986 Constitution, Liberia, the Article 1986 Constitution of Liberia, Article 80D in E states constituencies should have an approximately equal population. This was not the case in these elections. It is also stated that elections commissions should reapportion the constituencies in accordance with the population figures, so that every constituency shall have a close to the same population as possible, provided, however, that the constituencies must not solely be in a county. It can be recalled that on August 16, 2010, the 52nd legislature, in the joint resolutions of the Senate and the House of Representatives of the Republic of Liberia on the setting of electoral threshold for the conduct of 2011 presidential and legislative elections in Liberia was published. These joint resolutions compromised the 1986 Constitution, thus questioning the legitimacy of the 73 lawmakers, representatives of the 53rd, 54th, and the coming of the 55 legislature of the House of Representatives. We therefore strongly recommend that NEC and the legislature lay the groundwork for a new democratic constituency by setting a new population threshold for future representation. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen of the press, after these elections, we observe a post-elections do not let politics divide us, as we say. What these past elections reviewed, once again, is that travel affiliations, unconditional loyalty to individuals, despite these track records, have caused divisions among community members and families. Many voters did not examine candidates based upon their competence, but rather on kingship. Now, more than the month after the elections, dissatisfactions with the results are leading to dissatisfaction of the result are leading to open conflict in some communities across the country. There is an urgent need to dialogue. In response to this, the Foundation for International Dignity held a first peace dialogue in Palala by District Electoral District 1, Bon County, on December 11, 2023, where citizens were allowed to freely express their disagreement with the way the counting process was done by NEC. A petition was filed to the Supreme Court by one of the candidates, and citizens are demanding recounts in the district. We invited religious traditional leaders to talk to community about the importance of living together peacefully after the elections. Moreover, the panelists emphasized the importance of following the legal procedures instead of resulting into violence, which will only hinder development. Thus, this situation is symptomatic for many communities in Liberia. There is a need for the government and the civil society actors to continue to support these endeavors around the country and to resolve conflict peacefully. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen of the press, despite all of these challenges faced during the 2023 elections, we like to congratulate the Liberian people and all actors for their resilience in exercising their democratic and civil rights to vote on October the 10th and November 14, 2023 during the general presidential elections. We hope that all relevant actors will consider our concerns and recommendations. The incoming government should consider the legal framework by setting an appropriate threshold for consequences, implementing the code of conduct by appointing an ombudsman, and creating a level playing field for future elections in Liberia. NEC should be given adequate funding to execute her mandate. Funds should also be allotted in the national budget for community radio stations to ensure that all voters receive unbiased information about prospective candidates. We call on all political actors, community leaders, and citizens to come together to tackle the real issues that are hindering development in Liberia. Let us overcome our grievances and continue to build our nations. FINE is willing to play its part to support the incoming government to uphold the rule of law and to protect the rights of its citizens. However, as a civil society organization, we will also hold the incoming government accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I'll pause to receive your questions if you have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Broccoli. My name is Emmanuel Bala, and I report for Radio Banga. On the first page of this press conference, or this first statement, in the line that talks about voter education is the key. You mentioned whole civic voters education or awareness, and in this statement, evidently, I could read you saying we cannot put this down to illiteracy alone. So, what else could you attribute the whole voters awareness or education to? And in addition to that, the NEC had issue with funding according to the commissioner or the chairperson of the commission. They had done a budget of over $97 million that was reduced to 53 million to conduct the two elections. What else can you point to low civic voters education to?
Well, I think we say the same thing in different ways. Budget allotment was a challenge for NEC. In our country, NEC is the only institution that's supposed to create voter and civic education. We don't have any bureau like other countries. So she is responsible to conduct voter and civic education. So if money were not provided adequately for NEC to do her work, we are saying these things led to the way in which the people voted. See the time voter and civic education started. Very late. Right? You live in a society, even the informed people, the whole process. You told some people not to sign. You started signing, meaning they were not informed.
Are you blaming the government for low budgetary?
I'm blaming all. It can be the government, it can be NEC, it can be whosoever. Till the time they started doing voter education, sending people in the field, NEC or something was late. Whether they received some money, the time they started the education was also late. So the government in totality is responsible. NEC is part of the government. Yeah, NEC is part of the government. So she and the budget allotment, the central government, they are all, the time they started awareness was very late. So these things attributed to the way in which people voted.
Okay. Yeah, with respect to post-election conflict, you mentioned here electoral district 1, where you say our citizens were demonstrating in the aftermath of the election. We also witnessed a similar thing in electoral district 4, where a recount was conducted. We understand that you are very involved with the people and of the Supreme Court. How far can you speak to that?
What
the results are still pending, and we haven't gotten.
We encouraging the people in these communities to follow the rule of law. The system we have chosen in Liberia. Anyone who aggrieved after these processes will seek legal recourse. And candidates, right, follow the path. But supporters are not understanding the whole process. They're the problem. These people are in court. Canada who felt disenfranchised, took the issues to NEC ruled, they went up, and some of them are to the Supreme Court, some of them are still at the Board of Commissioner. Our discussion with the community is to wait for these results instead of them being put in roadblocks, having conflict among themselves. Found who was speaking yesterday cannot speak in some communities. This will not help the situation. Elections, I always say in our intro, election comes and go. Let's now go and put the party behind and force ahead. So these people are in court. So wait for the result. See what happened in District 4 Kwai region. They went to do recount. It's not about creating boundary. It is not about creating roadblocks. It is about allowing the system to work. If you test the system will really work. And we think that we all should follow the system. Those I agree, our citizens should wait for these different results. And the different results will surely speak for the actions.
Mr. Drago, thank you so much. My name is Wilson, and I report for Radio Pirate here in Ghana. On the legal framework, you stress that in your opinion, you describe the election as not being free nor fair, nor was it constitutional. Despite Liberia has been held across the world now by some international partners and even some of the neighboring countries. So what could be the divine definition for fine as it relates to free, fair, transparent elections?
You say free elections when code of conduct are violated? Would I consider that free? You say free elections when the national state broadcast Most of the time, we only use for the ruling party. When you say of free elections, when we saw government officials still in the official positions running campaign, you say free. You say free elections when people with disability, who couldn't see, who has a seeing problem, when people decided for them, you didn't vote for those people votes. You say free elections. Those people who cannot see, who their family member were deciding for them. What happened with the ballot? You call that free elections? Is that why you consider free elections? That's why you consider free elections where people decided their vote. Why you saw people decided their vote and people went and changed figures? Is that why you call free elections? In my opinion, they were democratic. People exercised the franchise, but the procedure, the way it was done, we need to improve. I said the non-constitutional representation is by population, especially the House of Representatives. It's not by land space. Article 80 says we must set a thresh. The thresh that we have in our constitution is 20,000. 20,000 at the time in 1986 brought 64 lawmakers. That 64 lawmakers took over during the 2005 elections. The 52nd legislature met and compromised our constitution and wrote what we term as a joint resolution. No power. Our constitution, any point of constitution will be changed by referendum. It's not by a lawmaker sitting and deciding. They sat there and signed a joint resolution because the trash that was sent by President Sirleaf at the time, some counties were disenfranchised. Granted, for instance. The first trash sent to them was 40,000. The second trash was 52,000. They said other counties could be disenfranchised. So what they did to compromise our constitution was to pass a what we call a joint resolution. Joint resolution, we have two censuses in this country. Article 80 says after a census, they must reset a trash. So are you telling us the whole constitutional provision will be left at the hands of our lawmaker? The 73 House of Representatives, they are unconstitutional.
Now,
Point. They are unconstitutional. We should accept a trash, and the trash, they redemarcate the portions, and we'll know who represents where and at what time.
Is it that a defiant of the Constitution?
We are saying our constitution will breach.
now,
And that's why we call it for the government to deal with that legal thing with the incoming government.
to that point, there was